Welcome everyone in the room already. We'll be coming up in about 30 seconds. Before we speak. Welcome to the Get Established Show. About to get it popping. We got Chilla up first. He's going to get us going. Get your questions ready. Get your comments ready. We're about to get into it. Welcome to the Get Established Show.
Gentlemen.
What's the deal? What is going on?
What's going on, man? Hopefully everybody had a great weekend.
Absolutely. That's what we're hoping for.
True indeed.
So what's cooking?
Man, this weekend was good, man. You know, we went to the festival this weekend. We ate some nice food. You know, Big was there, Shine was there. You know, everybody threw down. You know, big house to Savon. You know, she was Desmond. They rocked. You know what I'm saying? They had Omar Cobb there. It was a vegan.
Oh my
festival.
God!
You know, you had my boy Free selling jewelry out there. You know, it's nice jewelry he be selling, and it was good. You know, it was good this weekend out there.
Yes, indeed.
What festival was this?
The Veg Fest. They had it at Mount Trashmore in Virginia Beach. It was nice. You know, they had a lot of vendors, of course, all dealing with wellness and health-based events and products.
You enjoy that, Big?
Yeah, man, it was dope. Man, I got some
chicken
got some good food. Got some juices.
He got Big had some chicken in the wood.
He got some of that barbecue.
It was amazing too, man. If anybody has not ever heard of what's called chicken of the woods, it is a mushroom that grows. I think it grows wild.
Yeah, it grows on trees.
It grows on trees, and when I tell you, if somebody gave it to you and they prepared it properly, you would have no idea you were not eating chicken. That it everything about it, the flavor, the texture, just everything except is grown wild. But Chilla, what's going on, man? Let's get this thing started, bro.
All right, man. I mean, we're going to start it rocking like this. I got a question for y'all today, man. The first question is, do you think the people of America are being dumbed down?
Is that a trick question?
Oh, that ain't a trick question. I mean, because some people really don't believe that they're being dumbed down. Seriously. I mean, with everything that's going on from the fluoride to people being, they don't even believe they're under hypnosis. They don't even believe that they're being, brainwashed. And I mean, you don't even understand if you just put it this way. Let me just slow it down, man. It's to a point that I start calling people cyborgs. I mean, because we don't have human instincts anymore. It's just like I can watch something with an animal going through trouble and how the animals all go over there and, they'll fight together to save a cub or something. Today, in our society, when a child is in danger or something come on, the cyborgs start pulling up their cameras and just start recording. Their human instincts are gone. They don't even go over there and try to save somebody. An old lady get in an accident and the car catch on the fire. The cyborgs start taking out the phones and start recording like everything is computerized. They don't even have any, like I say, they have no human instincts. They're not even human anymore. They becoming cyborgs. They stuck into their phones all day at the table. When every family get together and start eating, they up there watching, the phone. Everything is digital. It's like the computers and robots. They're being programmed 24/7. Whatever they see, they stuck on this device like it's heroin. I mean, like they shooting up all day long. They stuck, and if you take it from a kid, a little 2-year-old ready to swing and hit you. It's like the addiction is crazy. So I'm like, everything that's going on in society today, I just want to ask y'all, do you think we are being programmed or have we lost our sense of being humans or what's going on? I mean, let's rock it.
Let me say this real quick for anyone viewing at this time. There's a link at the very top if you want to come in and jump on camera to ask a question or have a comment. We can let you in. Just hit the link, and we'll go from there. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sense of compassion for people is gone, man. Like you said, you see that in schools. If a fight breaks out, the first thing that's happening is people are pulling their cameras out. And it's happening across the board. Schools, I mean, I think
These are
The situ-
cyborgs.
Go ahead. Continue. I'm for it. I mean, it sound crazy, but it dudes they become a transhuman. These are cyborgs because people, animals have instincts. Their instincts is to kick off to save the cub or all of them come together. When you see people don't have no compassion, they lost their human being a human. They had lost their human instincts. These are cyborgs. Keep going. They don't even know they're cyborgs, but they're cyborgs. Go ahead.
I mean, I think that's just what we're dealing with right now. A lot of things have changed with social media and entertainment and our music. We're hearing these things and we're becoming numb. I work in the medical field, so a lot of things that I see don't affect me the same way as if you saw them. And if you see these things constantly all the time, you become numb to them. And I think our society has become numb to a lot of things that happen. It's unfortunate, but I think that that's just the case.
Desensitized, becoming a robot.
Right.
They don't have no emotion. Their human compassion is gone. But I mean, when you see something over and over, and I guess it's the same thing like young cats out here, and they keep seeing their friends die. They become so natural, it don't even bother them. They desensitized to the whole situation. But then you got to start looking at the emotion is gone. They starting to become like, they have no feelings, so it's like they numb, like a robot. It's like they don't have no compassion, no love in them at all.
It's real interesting to that point. It's just like these young boys killing people. They killing them like it's a video game, just walking up, killing people over minor disputes. And the funny thing is, if you watch a lot of these situations, when it's time to pay the piper, when you go into court, a lot of them are breaking down, calling for their mama, acting a fool, crying.
Oh, because it's real then.
Yeah, it's real at that point.
Yeah,
so,
they haven't been brought up in a place where they've been pretty much held responsible for their actions. They give kids so much leeway and so much power. They got a lot of power in the school system now. The kids do, and they know it. And that's an issue. So when they get to a situation where you dealing with a court case and really getting handing down some stuff, because at home they don't have no rules. We've talked about this, over and over again about how the breakdown of the family, it's been set up to be this way. In so many households right now, you got mothers raising children alone. And we know from design and from the good book, women are the weaker vessel. So what happens when a boy hits puberty? If he decides that he gonna run the house, he gonna run the house. And there's no one in there that can stop him if they don't want to.
Well, I mean, you also have to look at the parents in that situation. And what I mean by the parent, if it's a single mom household, you hear a lot of moms say that my little man is the man of the house now, if there's no male figure in the house. So these are things that also are being put in this young man's head. And at some point, a boy growing into a man, he's going to react to things like a man. I mean, that's just what happens.
He's going to react based on his training.
Well,
because a lot of the things we seeing in the streets is not manhood. And don't react on emotion at the level that we're seeing these killings happen.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I remember distinctly being raised by my grandmother, me being the only male in the house, and I remember that she got upset with me about something. And she went to, I think I was maybe 16, going on 17, and she went to beat me with a belt. And I remember grabbing that belt like, you're not gonna hit me with that. Now what happened next didn't fare for me too well. But I say that to say that it's just something in me was just like, you're not gonna hit me with that belt at this age. It's just not. I mean,
what age was that? I'm just curious.
I said I think I was 16 at the time.
16, okay.
Yeah. Well, now you
must have bought that car back with less than a full tank.
I don't even remember what it was, man, to be honest, man. And I mean, now, the shoe came off and went upside my head at that point. But my point is, I had got to a point that I was just like, okay, I'm in trouble, but you're not going to discipline me like that. And I think that happens a lot. And that, I mean, I wasn't, I guess that is a form of disrespect, grabbing the belt and telling my grandma that, you're not gonna hit me with that belt. But it gets a lot worse than that now with these young cats. You know, they feel like you said they the man of the house. They've been put in a position where they feel like they're the man of the house, and they get to a point that they're very disrespectful and unruly, and these women can't deal with it. And you hear it all the time. Like, I can't do nothing with him. He's coming in and out of the house all time of night. He's not going to school. He's not living by her rules. But he's still in the house.
Yeah, he run the house.
And that's the. Go
I
ahead, Chris.
think that, I mean, it's hard even to even say, like, because a woman just did it. I done seen both parents in the house, and the child still does what he want to do and go out here and act the fool and go to jail. I mean, that it doesn't matter if it's just a woman. It could be a daddy in the house, and the daddy like, yo, you got to get out. And he sooner or later, because they bumping heads. And you know what I'm saying? It's, the dad like, this is my house. You ain't paying no rent. You ain't running nothing around here, brother. Blah, 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 blah. Go. And he might go. Then he come back crying to mama talking to dad. Oh, he learned his lesson. And he'll come in and be good for a little while, but then he go back to his natural ways he was before he got kicked out. So, I mean, it's like
scenario,
we did what I'm tell you, man. It's a different time. And
we can
put it in any perspective we want, man. The people the people are changing left and right, man. We got some people, just like I said, it's just like, I think me and Raymond were having a conversation. It just, if you good, that's just you. That's your nature. Everybody is not born to be good. No matter what they read, no matter how long they stay in the church, they're going to do what they're going to do when they feel like that's what they want to do. I mean, it's just the way people are. And what I'm starting to realize, a lot of people are more heartless in this day and age and not, respecting for each other than we used to be. It's like, what I'm saying, a village used to raise, and we done had this conversation, a village used to raise the children. Today, man, these cats, even if I was trying to do wrong when I was younger, if I wanted to sell some weed or something, old head like, young boy, you can't do that, man. Not out here, young. Go to school. They used to try to educate the kids. Today, ain't nobody trying to educate the kids, and then the kids ready to pull out a gun and tell the old head to walk off. I mean, it's a whole different age, and sometimes I question myself, how did it get like this? Or did we play a part of this? Or did music play a part of this? Why didn't we stand up as men to, try to help these kids? Because some of these kids feel like they're not loved. Some of these kids feel like they don't nobody care about them. And some of these kids feel like, man, I'm ready to die. I don't care. I don't care what's going to happen to me. And that's a bad way to feel when you ain't even learned life and you dying at 19 and you ain't really even seen life. You going to jail for life when you ain't even been out here and enjoy the world. That's a bad mental illness as a young age.
It is.
I think the worst. Oh, go ahead.
These kids are doing the same thing that we did when we were younger. The only difference is they took it up an extra notch. They went a little bit to the left. Our version of doing bad when our parents was talking to us was out there hanging out at night, drinking, maybe out here, doing some stuff. I mean, the difference with us, some of us, and I'm gonna say, because it was some of us that didn't care either, but some of us, we knew that, hey, we didn't want to cause any ruckus at the house, because we know one or two things. Yeah, we're gonna get either kicked out or we're gonna get disciplined in some kind of way. Now, these kids today, because of the fact that there's not real punishment like we had in our days, so they're gonna be a little bit more rebellious, because especially with all that's around them, you got to realize, when me and Chris had a conversation, we sneak and go watch Playboy or whatever, stuff like that. That's something simple, but they got all this access to everything what we didn't have. And like with me and Big, we had a conversation about all the access these kids have to today to be able to advance themselves more in life than what we had when we were coming up. This is what they're dealing with now. So if you got to think about it if we came up during the time it came up and we had all the access to everything. We got the World Wide Web, got everything at our hands, and we can see everything that's going on in the world, see everything that's going on everywhere. How do you think that we're going to react? We're going to react pretty much the same way. The difference is, like I said, is the fact that it's a different time. Everything is just more out in the open. You know what I mean? Kids, the television programming now where sex is like, it's just right out there. Drug use is right out there.
Yeah.
Gang banging, shooting is right out there. It's like it's right there. Like it's not taboo anymore. It's like, hey, this is what it is. It's right in your face. Pow. Take it. Deal with it.
Well, I think,
and that's what they're doing. That stuff is just merging in their life, and they just thinking that's why I was telling Chris, the line between reality and TV, it's like this. It ain't like that no more. It's like this. It's blurred.
Well, not just that either. Too. This is a thing too, right, man? I was talking to my 18-year-old, and even with you just trying to be there and share your experiences and help them through their growing pains, they rather confine their friends, man.
I mean, that's what it is.
So now you got two individuals that don't know nothing, helping each other figure it out. That makes no sense. He doesn't know or she doesn't know any more than you do. And you going to them with your issue. And then you have a parent that's willing to help you through it, or you have a parent that's guiding you with certain information, because your parent, believe it or not, it may have been different circumstances, but a lot of the things that you're going through, your parent has been through.
True, but you don't know that. Most kids don't look at their parents as ever being a kid.
Most parents that aren't going to tell you what they've been through because of the fact that, hey, they want to keep that pristine parent-like image in front of you, so they won't feel like, okay, well, hey, you will throw back at them and, hey, you've been through the same thing I've been through.
No, I was very different, man, because of the lack of information that
that's the old way.
Yeah,
that's the way we came up on.
Right, but we have to evolve with that situation, because I mean, our kids ain't stupid. We know that they're highly intelligent, because you look at a little child now that's 2 years old, they can grab a cell phone, know how to navigate that thing like they was trained on it, But I like to hit on one of the comments. Made a comment, says in some cases these young men are the breadwinners, and with that command of respect, the man of the house. Meaning that you got young boys out here in the street making money, and they coming in and paying bills, which you already know what that means. If you paying bills here, you run the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's been going on a long time, dude. I mean, even when we went to school, you had certain situations where, depending on the household and what the situation was, they were putting money in the pot to make sure things got paid. And you're right. When you take on those types of responsibilities, your attitude changes a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, but what do you do when you have a situation where these moms have multiple kids, the father's not around, they're struggling to make ends meet, their son goes out here or their daughter goes out here and gets money, however they get it, and bring it back to the household, and you're accepting it to pay the bills just to make the ends meet? How do you navigate through that? And then not only that, let's take it a step further. You got the older kids watching the younger kids because you got to go out and work. So not only are they maybe providing financially, now they're parenting and their kids themselves.
And the difference between, I know we always run the parallel or the contrast between our upbringing and what we have now. One of the biggest contrasts that I can think of is that it was a progression. with us. Like we've seen all these different stages. I mean, when we were younger, we had 6 channels. They didn't stay on all night. You remember when the Star Spangled Banner used to come on and TV used to go off?
Yeah.
So TV used to go off and we used to go off. Now, like Raymond said, on TV, the things that they say and the things they show, because the I forget who's in charge of the TV. Who's it? I don't know. I can't remember the organization. Who is it?
FCC.
The FCC, right? The FCC. So back when we were kids, you couldn't say bitch. You couldn't say nothing. You couldn't say that on regular TV. And now, because pay TV has done so much and it has drawn people over there, they have loosened the reins even on the radio. Even on the radio, we hear songs. Think about the music we hear on the radio now and what we would hear back in the day. They will blur out words. And I know y'all remember, because think about the show, not the show. What was the song? It was
Lottie Dottie.
Lottie Dottie. That's exactly Lottie Dottie, Doll and Nikki, all of that stuff that was a little bit over the lines. They would blur out the words that were inappropriate. And now you've got TV that runs 24/7, and you've got a gazillion amount of channels, and you got basically no censorship. So we've got no censorship. We've got people that are waiting too long to try to parent, because that's a real issue. People think they need to start parenting their kids when they get about 10 and 11 and 12, and you need to start parenting.
Let me look.
I just wanted to say this. Let me just say this part though. I mean, I'm hearing everything everybody's saying, man. I see it. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see these young cats hustling, paying for the houses and getting houses built and doing this and doing stuff like Nino Brown, getting a whole complex and all that. I see these boys out here hustling, spending money, throwing away in the strip clubs and all this. Now, number 2 is I'm seeing these older people are now terrified of their children. It's like terrorists. They are scared of these little kids. These kids walking around with all type guns that we couldn't even, military can't even hardly get their hands on, with all these type shells and Dracos and all this different stuff. To now, you know what I'm saying? The people and grown folks and man our age, they're ready. Even I didn't hear it even from our podcast. A young man disrespecting you. One of y'all said, you know what? I just kept my mouth shut because I just wanted to get home to my family, because I know how these young kids' minds are. We already in war. People thinking, they want to look at TV and look at war overseas. War is already among us. We living in war. Every time you walk through that door or out that door to go to work, you in war. So, I mean, I don't, like I said, maybe my perception, my reality, because everybody got their own perception and everybody got their own reality. But my reality, I'm already at war. I've been at war since I've been black. And that used to be against the police or whatever, trying to survive. But now I'm in war even with my own people. So it's like war is constantly going on. And the problem is no respect. We already said that. It's no respect. No respect at all. These kids, I mean, they want to, I mean, I read, pay, so they want to be respectful, but God damn, you ain't even giving your parents or the elders respect, man. I mean, that's backwards as a mug. I see and hear that, and I ain't trying to be funny, but I mean, God damn, you ain't gonna stay in my house and I don't care what you pay. I wouldn't care you pay the rent for 100 years. And you ain't respecting me, and it's man, come on, man.
So
Chris, respect goes both ways, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's twofold, though.
It's a two-way street. And then I'm raising this. This seed came out my lung. This seed, I laid the foundation for this seed. I had to pay for the diapers. I had to pay for the similar. I had to do all this stuff. This seed was helpless when it came in this world, and I did that. So I mean,
cool them off.
Fan me down, but I don't know what's going on now. I mean, like I said, we are grown men. I'm talking as a man. I ain't talking feminist. This is masculinity. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm a 100% man right here. And I'm just saying I'm taught this way because if you're gonna be a boss, you're gonna be a leader. You act like it. Don't shine down.
Well, Chris, that's twofold, and what I mean by that is you have a lot of parents out here doing everything and anything in front of their kids. And the kids are seeing things they shouldn't be seeing. So and you got to look at it. Like at that point, are you disrespecting those kids? You're teaching them a form of disrespect. So
You
when they throw it back
disrespecting
in your, when you throw it back in when they throw it back in your face, how do you deal with it? We had a show a while ago, man, and I talked about this. I talked about how I spoke to my kids. And the thing is, certain things I didn't do. I didn't yell at them. I didn't cuss at them. I didn't talk to them crazy. If I was upset, we had a conversation, because this is the thing. When they're young, you're teaching them how to communicate. And when you do certain things, it's going to come back at you at some point. And then you're going to be ready to discipline them for something you taught them. So I say that to say, when you're doing certain things in front of them, like drinking, smoking, men having multiple women around their sons, women having multiple men around their kids, when they're seeing that and they're growing up and you're allowing other people to talk to you a certain way in front of your kids, what do you think they're going to do when they get older?
You know,
that's what I wanted to ask y'all when what you just touched on. Diao gonna say, I'll ask, how do y'all talk to y'all kids? Do y'all talk to them like y'all like, okay, well, hey, we cool, or do you talk to them like a parent more, like, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, do y'all curse around y'all kids? Or, I mean, you know, like in normal conversation, not no.
What do you mean, just in
you
regular
mad, not just mad, but when you just in regular conversation, you just kind of, you know, shoot off one every now and again.
Majority of what you're saying, most of these kids learn most of their stuff at home first.
I mean, I'm not. When I say this, I'm not saying they don't know, because we all have grown up. Because let's be real, we've all grown up with people cursing, our friends cursing at young ages.
Hey,
we've all grown up.
Friends, I'm talking about family members. Boy, get your blah 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 blah. It's always been cussing, man.
My dad hit you with 4 cuss words in one sentence, bro.
I mean, you know, there's no perfect person, so there's gonna be times.
I mean, I ain't talking about perfect.
I can't answer that, Raymond. My kids didn't really hear me cuss until they got grown. I'm just gonna be honest, because I was very conscious about how I spoke in front of them. I'm telling you, I just realized that I did not want them coming at me a certain way. So I was very careful. Now, with that being said, there were moments. Now, I didn't cuss, but I was very animated, depending on what the scenario was.
Right.
But I will say that I was very careful in how I spoke around my kids.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, because, you know, when you mad, you might shoot off a little bit. You might, if you
shoot off a little bit.
I'm just saying, some people like that. It means,
man, I don't know.
He just said he careful.
I'm thinking y'all going around leaving a beaver, man. I'm around here. It's a real. I'm in boys in the hoods of Friday. Go get the goddamn. I'm in a whole different scenario. I don't know what y'all hearing when y'all walk past somebody. I was going out with y'all friends. Y'all talking different.
They know your heart. They know your heart. They know your heart. But I mean,
you get used to the cussing. That's just regular. That's just how we grew up. Cussing didn't bother me. It was the hitting part that cut. My dad, because Derek can tell you, our dad used to use every choice word and cuss us out. I love the cussing. I didn't love the whoopings. You can cuss me out and fuss all you want. That didn't hurt. It was the whoopings that hurt. You know what I'm saying?
In my household, you got cussed out. You got cussed out on the daily.
Okay, now
and a whooping came behind that. Even Mike came before it.
We got cussing, and we had it really did something. We got the whoopings, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? The cussing part didn't hurt me. That didn't hurt me.
No, I'm not saying the cussing part hurt me either, but I did realize that I didn't want my kids to talk to me a certain way. And I understood that I was teaching them how to communicate at a young age. So I was very careful on how.
You knew already they weren't going to talk to you like that.
Oh no! Because I said, but the thing
they knew that. They knew that shit. How about that? They knew that.
They knew that. But see, the reason why that is because if you respect your kids, they're gonna respect you.
And that's what I was going to say. My grandmother left me with that. She told me when my daughter was first born, she said, "I'm gonna tell you, if you don't remember nothing else I say, she's watching everything you do. So make sure that you're a good example for her. Even when you talk to her and you build her up and you make sure, even when you're upset, you explain to her why you're upset. My grandmother sat me down and had a whole conversation with me.
Teachable moment.
Yeah, that is true.
Right. True.
So, and I paid attention to that, man. I really paid attention to that. And I was very conscious on how I communicated with her. And then, Cameron, my son, came along, and it was the same way. I just wanted to make sure that I was very conscious on how I communicated with him.
I wanted to pop up a comment from Dion that says, as parents, I guess he's saying it's his parents, we have an open door policy. Kids don't feel like they can talk to their parents today. So kids today don't feel like they can talk to their parents today. And I think that can be a thing. I think for me, I know it was stages with me with my kids. When they were small, see, I just don't feel like you need to let kids make too many decisions too early. I think it's a process. So for me, when my kids was 5 and 6 years old, their biggest decision gonna be hot dog, hamburger, peanut butter and jelly, or you know what I'm saying?
At that age,
We gonna give them more responsibility as they grow in age. But I know after my kids, we gonna get back to Dion's question. But after my kids became adults, then it was a different way that I dealt with them. Because at that point, the spankings were over, the punishments were over, and now we got to really okay, now you got to start. Not at this point, you can start making your first level of decisions, but now all your decisions have a hell of an impact.
Well, absolutely.
That's the conversation I had with him. You are an adult now. Your decisions have a huge impact on your future and the people that surround you future. So you got to think about it.
Absolutely. I remember having a conversation with my 18-year-old when he was younger, and I told him, he was telling me how he wanted his haircut. And I said, you can get your hair cut any way you want to get it, because that's the only decision you can make. He was telling me how he wanted his haircut. And I said,
my fault.
Well, I was saying that to say that's the only decision he can make, because what I explained to him this coming year, he just went to college. I said, look, I've been teaching you all this time. Now it's time for you to apply these lessons that you learned all these years.
That's right.
And that's where we're at now. And even like my 27-year-old, we do have different conversations now because she's grown. I still provide some form of guidance when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But, for the most part, she's an adult. Now, if I see something that's going left, yeah, I'm going to call her on it. But I can't make a decision for her.
It's her decision at that point.
Exactly.
But your input, I'm sure, is greatly appreciated because of the track record. You know what I'm saying? Just like with my kids, And I even told my son, him and his best friend, I told them both, I said, look, y'all men now, y'all young men. I'm going to start dealing with y'all like y'all young men. I said, it's a whole different level of responsibility. It's a whole level different level of conversation we can have. You can talk to me about anything you need that's forward. I done probably experienced most of what y'all about to go through. You can talk to me. We have a conversation, and I'm gonna talk to you like a man. I'm not gonna talk to you like a child because you ain't a child no more.
I mean, your parents until you dust.
True.
Y'all
always training.
Y'all. I mean, because they're adults, the training is just slightly different. That's all. It's just you're, like you said, instead of being the disciplinary, the teacher, the groomer, the caretaker, you're now the advisor, the counselor, the wise old sage that they can come to and say, hey, if you built that type of relationship, they can come to you and get that knowledge and information. I mean, that just like what Dion talked about, the open door policy. If you leave that type of, or if you have that type of relationship where you allow your kids to come to you and talk to you and give them instruction, or just give them guidance on just whatever. I mean, they'll come to you as long as they know that they got that.
Well, they'll come to you if you listen, if they feel like that you'll listen to them.
I still ain't getting all this, man. I'm still on another track, man. I just I get because this is the thing, this is the real thing. Everybody grows up different, man. And what I'm saying about that, man, some of us mature different. I can't say when I was 20, man, I would have been the best father, but it took later for me to grow up, or I would have been the best husband. But the thing is, as I got older, I got wise. I put a lot of my foolish ways away. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had to go out in club. I ain't had to go do this. Some of these dudes at a young age having kids, and I salute Dirk and I salute Big, because y'all was trying to be fathers and spend time with your children. But I seen a lot of young cats, man, 25, 30 years old, they didn't know how to be a father. They didn't have a father in their house to show them to do the same thing to them. So they had to figure it out. And some of them, as they got older, they got into their kids' lives and wanted to be a father. And then it goes vice versa, man. Some girls wasn't never groomed to be a wife, never groomed to be a mother. They didn't know how to mother. All they knew how to do was have a house and try to feed the child. So, I mean, they might not have been a perfect mother, but as they got older, some of them became perfect grandfathers. Some of them became perfect grandmothers. I mean, I'm just telling y'all real. I mean, we talk.
I get what you're saying.
This is what I'm saying. You know what I'm just talking about what I'm saying.
Look, we can't make excuses as adults. That's why I had a conversation with my kids. As adults, we can't sit and talk about what we want taught and all of this. No, hell no. Once you an adult, when you get that diploma, you cross that stage or whatever, when you decide you ain't going to school no more, or when you start having kids, I told you day one, if you have a kid, you now an adult. All that stuff is off the table. It's time for you to figure out what it is. And then for people that didn't have a mother or a father that did them right, then guess what? They need to know what they didn't have, and that's what they need to provide.
But even
it's no excuses as an adult.
But even check this, and then I go back to when I was a kid, and my dad used to say, look, man, they ain't your friends. When your car break down, they ain't gonna be there with you, blah, blah. And you know what I looked at my dad, and I laughed. I said, man, you know what? I feel you, Dad. But that was then when you was young, and this is mine. Me and your time is different. But everything he said came to pass. So I'm like, even when you talk to some of y'all got kids and you're gonna talk to them, they ain't even gonna feel you till they go through it. And no matter when you're trying to warn somebody, they got to go through it for themselves just to see it. That's why even when I even ask that question, if we dumb down, because some people, when you tell them something, they into whatever they was taught or whatever they've been hearing over and over, the way the programming go, until they experience something different, then the shades come out. It's no different than Derek with the medical field with me when my dad was sick. He told us to do the holistic thing. I didn't hear it. I went with the doctor. It took for everything to go with the medicine field to see what I current. They're like, hey, Derek was right. I should have went holistic. But I had to lose something to wake up from that because I was under that illusion. Everybody got to go through something. Sometimes it takes tragedy for you to come out your illusion. You got to lose something to wake up sometimes. Some people just think everything is always, hallmark and everything is supposed to be great and going to be peaceful. But I don't live that life. I live in hell every day. Hell making it heaven. A state of mind to me. It's a state of mind. You can live in heaven. You can live in hell. When I walk out, it's hell, but I count a state of mind to make it heaven. I'm creating it every day. Everybody is in there what they believe. A belief is, to me, and I don't mean to offend nobody, believing something is a false sense of not knowing. That's just my view. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna say it again. Believing is a false sense of not knowing. And I don't mean to offend nobody. Whatever you believe in, you can believe the Mars is over there. You can believe the moon is cheese. You can believe in the Loch Ness Monster. You can believe in Bigfoot. I don't care what you believe in, but I know it's a false sense of not. Unless you got facts standing in front of me, all that's just a false sense of not knowing.
Well, that's the
and I live by facts. I live every day trying to make sure what I know, not what I think. Thinking and believing is the same thing, but knowing is something totally different.
But Chris, we're saying the same thing in a sense, because this is the thing. If I lay
Somebody explain to me.
Hold up, man.
Go ahead, man.
If I tell my child, let's talk about that. Like I laid the groundwork about holistic when he was going through what he was going through to you. you might not hear it then, but you heard it later. And that's the point. Like if I would have never said that, that wouldn't even be a conversation. It's not about hearing it now all the time. Yeah, you got to go through it. But you need that person, if they know something and they've been through something, to share that information with you. You might not hear it now, but you damn sure gonna hear it later. And that's the whole thing. It's like I always talk about, I wish I would have known certain things as a young man after I got out of high school, going to college. I just certain things that our elders didn't give us, male elders didn't give us. Now, if they would have gave it to us, I might not have listened at that time, but I damn sure would have caught it on the back end. And I'm now in the latter part of, in a later part of life, and I'm still learning things that I wish I would have known about 10, 15, 20 years ago. And if somebody would have laid that groundwork for me, yeah, I might not have listened in that moment, but I damn sure would have seen it a little later. That's all I'm saying.
But see, that's y'all really talking about generation to generation, because that's how it is. I mean, like I said, as long as you're going to give your kids something to, to chew on, that's what you do. But it's always a trial by fire for every generation coming up. When you young, when you in those teen and 20 years, you like, it's like a explosion. You trying to experience things. You trying to get different types of things, to know things, see things. Most of the time, those things are the things that put you through that trial by fire, where you're like, okay, well, I might get burnt, I might get sins a little bit, or I might just, be able to avoid it and go around it. But it's a lot of things you're gonna go through, and that's why, as parents, you are the one that's, hey, you there to say, hey, look, this is what it is. I what you about to go through, I done been through. So I mean, yeah, they know that, but it's like some of them gonna buck, and some of them might say, hey, look, dad, mom told me to, hey, let me chill, so I'm gonna chill, But it's like Chris said, it's about the personality of that child, whether they gonna do it or not.
I agree with that, but I also think it's about the parameters of the rules that's in place too. The rules versus the ramifications for breaking the rules. We got I was looking in the comments, like the chat to slow it down. We still live. Okay. Chat slow. Okay. But yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with the, what the outcome is for if you break a rule, because some people don't have enough rules in place, and that's why the kids just keep doing whatever the hell they want to do.
Some of them can have too many rules where the kid buck too.
That's true. Some kids, that they call them helicopter parents. You gotta give your child enough room to make mistakes, because really, honestly and truly, that's how we all learn. We learn through making mistakes. We don't learn from doing things necessarily always the right way. You can learn from the mistake, but a mistake is not necessarily something wrong.
See, that's the birth of wisdom right there.
Some people don't learn from mistakes. They keep doing it over and over and over and over, man.
So what about the parent that doesn't let the child fall?
That's a problem.
And they incapacitating the child or making the child rebellious.
They're gonna make the child a failure, because if they can't never fall, if they can't skin their knee, if they can't make a mistake, I mean, that's not real life.
It's so funny we having this conversation. It's so funny we having this conversation, because we're at a time right now, everybody is so sensitive about so much stuff.
Oh man, what are you talking
Even
about?
the kids are so sensitive. You can't say, like I said, we used to grow up and joke about your mama this, cat a kickstand, this and that. Won't no sensitivity. You could say whatever, but you can't even joke, say anything without somebody being, just being offended. We in a time now, and I mean, all this is fitting into what I'm saying, like being, how we been dumbed down, or we desensitized of being a human and all this, but everything I'm saying is in this circle. all the conversation about the kids will be the way the people are, the way we don't care. We'll pull out a phone real quick instead of helping somebody. We'll just sit there and watch them perish and just film like we just robots. I mean, everything I'm saying with this question is all fitting in this whole show right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So-
if you talk about the dumbed down part, that comes from, like I said, the access to social media, and wanting to see. Well, I don't want to say the kids are dumb. I just want to say the kids maybe are focused on what their interest lies in. I go to that because once you focus on what you're interested in, all the other stuff is like irrelevant until something comes up and it's like, oh, well, now I'm introduced to something that's totally was not on my radar. And now I'm dealing with this and I got to figure out how can I navigate this. And that's where, like we've been talking about the whole majority of this time, is that there's somebody here, like a parent or somebody, a guardian, a friend, somebody that can, an older friend that can talk to you and tell a kid that, hey, this is what you need to do, this, and that. And if they listen, they listen. If they don't, at least they got the information.
I just want to say one thing. It's a movie. And the reason I'm talking about this, because I always think about this movie. It's a movie called Idiocy. I'm going to say it again. It's a movie called Idiocy. I advise, if you haven't watched it, watch it. And the ironic thing is, watch the type of shoes that they got on in this movie. Because it's going to blow your mind, because when you go outside, you're going to see these shoes everywhere. But when they made this movie, they were looking for the craziest shoe they knew of for a fact, when nobody ever wear. And they found these shoes. And they made this movie with the people being so dumbed down that they was trying to grow crops with Gatorade. And just watch the movie. And when you watch this movie and go outside the very next day, this movie's been made like early 2000s, so up in the 2000s. Or you about, I know, 10 maybe some years ago or better. But just watch this movie, Idiocy, and you will see what I'm talking about.
I think Ro, that's a good point.
Oh, Rose out here now.
That's a good point. People, there are people that are scared, to be embarrassed.
What up, Big Ro?
Yo,
Big Ro, what's up, Ro?
yo, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on one second, Ro. Let Raymond finish his thought.
Go ahead, right? Yes, sir.
Nah, I mean, I agree with your comment here. It's like, yeah, I mean, you got a portion of people, especially with what we're dealing with now, where when you get up here on social media or whatever, and you just put out something, and see, now I think I'm about to veer off a little bit. Like, okay, like the Hawk Tua girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
All right.
It's like you throw something out here and you thinking that, hey, it's just you just commenting and like, oh yeah, it's nothing. Ain't nobody gonna see me. Next thing you know, that joint go viral and you're dealing with the backlash from that. With her, she got what they said, she made $1 million at they're gonna hear
I mean, that's the way of the world.
But on the back end, where you dealing with somebody that they say something and then now they got to backpedal on that because of the fact that when you put it out there in cyberspace, the universe there, you gotta it's always there where you can come bring it back and bring it to the forefront and say, hey, remember what you said back then? Regardless of what level of maturity you were back at that point, or regardless of how long, you're going to be judged or scrutinized by that comment or that what you said back then, because that means that, hey, you were where you were then is applicable to who you are now.
Right, definitely. Big Ro. Thank you for
Word.
coming up, bro.
Indeed, man. I just wanted to jump on, man, and say that, all y'all had some dope views. Chiller being chiller. But the tie it all together, man. I think what's missing is the fact that the gap in time as far as the technology between our parents and us and our children is real big. And it's like both of us are learning or kind of learning it on the fly. They were getting more time with it because they were getting in school with it. And we kind of just had to feel and navigate our way through, unless you took time out to take classes, go to school or whatever, what have you.
Right.
So, because of that, it kind of makes it difficult for us to speak the language that they speak, and I think sometimes that makes it difficult for them to walk through that open door. Like my man Dion talked about having an open door policy. Sometimes it makes it more comfortable for them to go speak to somebody who's doing the same thing that they're doing, who may be encountering the same things that they're encountering. We've encountered those pitfalls and those adversities and those things out in whatever we had to encounter with, but it was at a different level. Everything wasn't publicized. Everything wasn't televised. When Chuck D and them said the revolution was going to be televised, they wasn't lying. It is right now. It's a big revolution between the young and the old, between the youth and the parents, the different generations, the different perspectives, the choices that they have to live with versus the choices that we had to live with. Everything was kind of minimal and in the box with us. With them, there's no box. Everything is wide open, cardboard smash. They're not even break dancing on it. They just walking across it. Everything is accessible, like y'all was speaking about. So it's no perfect way to do this. Is no right or wrong way to do it. You just got to participate and do the best you can, and then just rely on what they take from it. Create a structure, hold them accountable to stand within that structure until they get into a place where they can create their own structure and their own direction. That's all you can do, man.
Yeah.
There ain't no perfect way to do this thing, man. Everybody gave good ideas,
No doubt.
but at the end of the day, man, you just got to be there for them. If they talk to you, fine. If they don't talk to you, keep telling them that they can.
Exactly.
And when they can, just receive them. That's all you can do.
It's a good word.
Word up.
No, that's great wisdom from the Big Ro.
Well put.
Hey, no, don't dumb it down now, Chilla. You've been on the thousand all night.
I'm coming in like this always. I ain't gonna change. But see, you got to have one character out here that's gonna start a film up on everything here. And I'm that.
Always, bro. Always, bro.
I'm that
appreciate.
I'm that person.
Appreciate y'all coming back on, man, and getting the 4 horsemen back together, man. I'm gonna play JJ Dillon in a minute, though.
Yeah. we all got our roles. I know that we all got our roles.
Hey, man, love y'all, brothers, man. Y'all have a good night, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Hey, Ro, you got a shout out from Ebony, man.
What's up, Eb?
What's up, E?
What's up?
Word up. Appreciate it, bro.
Oh, they can be. But man, yeah, I like I said, everybody put some great views out here. But the thing is, it's like, should we try to establishment show? It's about getting everybody established. We coming up here speaking about love. We still up here talking about different things, trying to build a community up. And sometimes we might, like me, I get a lot of emotion when I talk. But we're just trying to get some wisdom to the people, give them ideas, and I'm pretty sure each one of us. Everybody can relate to what we're saying, even when I go off and say my side. So it's like we got different people viewing, some people feeling us. All I'm doing is like, I want a community. I want us as blacks to come together. As all people to come together. I want us all to unite, to not be deceived by what's going on, not be all caught up in everything. And I mean, I look at the world and its traps and all the devices they're using and all the things they're bringing towards us is all separation. All I want people to see where you fit in. Or do you feel like you're being separated from the other? And it's a shame. Like, I think Ro even said something, and he typed something about relationships being divided. And that's something real because it's husbands and wives right now are being divided. even in the presidential, over all type stuff, the controversies that's going on. And I feel like, you know, your love should be stronger than that. You shouldn't be weak. Well, I ain't gonna say weak, but you shouldn't let something just divide you for that's not really what you think it is. Everything's in my view, is an illusion. It ain't. Some of the things we are making bigger than what it really is. These and if you've been with somebody, you love somebody, sometimes you got to see things from their eyes and point of view before you just go on a big wheel and just go your way or separate, because everybody had their own ideas. This will make us all unique. Our own ideas, our own views, and our own ways, on the ways we do things, the way we talk, the way we see things. Big might see one way, Brandon see another way, Durr see another way, I see another way. And all we can do is get information from each other, because Raymond gives me an idea, Big gives me an idea, my brother gives me an idea. I mean, I grow from each one of them. And I'm pretty sure they hear some things I say that give them a different idea. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to sharpen each other, not tear down each other.
That's
and
right.
that's what
being
the
able
show's
to
supposed to be.
listen, and that's the thing. Like a lot of times, especially when it gets heated and you're arguing with whoever, whether it's a friend or your significant other, you stop listening, and then it's a point system at that point. You're trying to one up. You're trying to make sure you're thinking about your response instead of listening to what the person's saying, and things get miscommunicated because now it's a one up situation. I'm trying to score a higher score than you. I'm trying to win this argument, and it should never be about that. It should be about meeting in the middle and trying to understand each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, like you know, pretty much piggybacking off of what Chris said. I mean, you know, the best thing is to, you know, try to build networks with one another. Because like I remember, I want to go off about one thing we were talking about when like survival, when you're dealing with being in the woods, and you know you're trying to, you know, survive out there. Ultimately, that's why community comes together, in order for everybody to survive. You know, you can go out here, but it's always somebody that has something that you need. Somebody has something that you might not have. Somebody might have a skill that you don't have that may be useful to you. And that's why you come together and build a community. And that's the best thing for us as a race and as a people and as a nation, to come together and build community.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a great way to end it up.
Yeah,
With Raymond's comment. Everybody agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. Right.
All right. Well, that's
You
it.
know,
Raymond summed it up.
well,
We appreciate you all
yeah.
checking in with the Get Established show this week. We are live Mondays, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and join the conversation. You can pop in now. You can send your comments. We love having y'all in. We appreciate you. This
Let's hear our boy.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
We'll get it together. We'll get it together, bitch.
One more loop.